The silent agony of unfulfilled love.
Yes, it's a truth we often hesitate to acknowledge. Love, which in our imagination is always a beautiful and serene destination, sometimes it turns into a whirlpool in which one slowly drowns from within. This is truly the lament of relationships that appear to exist but are hollow inside. Have you ever felt that way? A connection where every breath feels suffocating and every moment is an endless struggle. Love. Just hearing this word awakens colorful dreams, peaceful moments, and a longing to lose oneself in another. But what if that dream shatters? What if that beautiful feeling becomes a bitter reality? When love, instead of becoming complete, transforms into a continuous mental unrest, emotional confusion, and silent agony from within.
You've surely witnessed such relationships, or perhaps it's even happened in your own life, where a connection that appears close is in reality miles apart. The person our soul connects with comes into our lives repeatedly, sometimes in the midst of our thoughts with closed eyes, sometimes in whispered conversations, and sometimes peeking through the window of old memories. Their presence is felt, but they are never completely yours. They never fully become a part of your heart, your life, or your very being. Like a flickering dream that appears, but can never be grasped. Their real presence doesn't give a complete and clear feeling. And this is the greatest agony of all. To harbor the illusion of having someone, but to never truly possess them completely. Is this feeling familiar to you as well? In such relationships, both individuals are often unaware of their own identity.
This isn't just one person's story, but the tragedy of two souls who, despite being together, are lonely. When one says, "You don't know who you are," and the other replies, "I don't even know who I am," this isn't just a personal confusion, but reveals the deep weakness at the roots of that relationship. When a person doesn't recognize their own truth, their flaws, their needs, and their complete self, how can they handle the emotions of another? When both souls are themselves wounded and incomplete, how can they become whole for each other? The result of this incompleteness is that love, which once felt like a beautiful emotion, begins to turn into a silent punishment. Sense of punishment, soft and painful tone. This punishment doesn't scream, doesn't make noise, but it exhausts a person from within, draining them. Every day, every moment, a question arises in the heart.
Is this relationship truly alive, or are we just carrying its corpse? In every breath there's an unanswered silence, in every moment there's an unease, and in every silence an unbearable suffocation lies hidden. We say with our lips that we are in love, but that love no longer brings comfort, no peace. Instead it feels like an unending burden. This is that agonizing stage where the relationship doesn't provide solace, but becomes a cause for emotional exhaustion, self-loathing, and a soundless torment. Often in such relationships, one person gives everything: their time, their attention, their pure emotions, their selfless loyalty, and the other person simply takes.
They only come when they need you, when their heart feels empty or their loneliness gnaws at them. And when they've said what they needed to say, or their heart is full, they then fall silent. Here the relationship no longer exists between two people, but becomes a cruel game between power and helplessness. The one who gives tires crumbles, and the other, perhaps unknowingly, takes everything without any sense of guilt, slightly sorrowful, questioning. Have you ever found yourself part of such a cruel game? Moment of realization, very serious and deep tone. Then comes the moment when the one who loves, with a deep pain and a sense of incompleteness, looks themselves in the eye and says, "I couldn't give you anything. Neither happiness, nor security, nor true peace. So you don't have the right to love me either. Slight pause. This statement isn't proof of self-deprecation, but the highest form of truth. It's the voice that doesn't accuse anyone, but accepts the reality that love isn't just a game of words. It's not just an emotional attachment, but a responsibility, a sacred trust. And if that responsibility cannot be fulfilled, if we cannot be a source of happiness for the other, then love simply turns into agony. Even in such moments, a person smiles, participates in the lively gatherings of life with others, shares smiles on social media, but inside them there's a silence that only they know. This is the inner pain that doesn't scream, doesn't cry out, but it breaks a person little by little every day. When we truly love someone and know that we cannot be a source of happiness for them, that love doesn't end. It just falls silent. It remains suppressed in the heart, whimpering, but never comes to the lips. This is the point where, despite being in a relationship, we are alone. We are connected, but in reality, we aren't truly connected. We want to, but we can't fully sustain it. We often blame the other person, saying they changed, they were unfaithful. But perhaps the truth is that we ourselves were emotionally weak, selfish, or perhaps we were simply not ready for that relationship, for its depths and responsibilities. We want love, we want its peace, but often we don't want to pay its price. In the fleeting joy of having someone, we forget that the real test lies in sustaining them. And sustaining is much harder than simply wanting. This is the truth that resides in all our hearts, but only a few have the courage to admit it. And those who do admit it, those who face this bitter reality, they are the ones who truly love. Do you also have the courage to accept this truth?